It's Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. 23 again. I guess that happens every month, doesn't it? See my wife over here getting all prepared. We're gonna just refill these jars again. One of the big downsides of a half-gallon container for syrup is they empty it pretty fast. So we got to keep filling it. My estimation is the nukes, the 6-framers, are going to need 6 of those jars. And I calculate that based on the 10-frame units take about 24 liters of syrup. So that's, if I said 20 liters, because a lot of them will take 20 liters. So if I said 20 liters, that's 2 liters per frame. And so 6-framer then is 12 liters. And you say, well, that's a 12-liter pail. I could use the big pails on the nukes. I can't because the box isn't wide enough for the pail, and the pail would stick over and the bees just get up under it and start robbing the syrup. So I would love to use those pails on there. 1 pail of syrup for those nukes would be nice. However, that's not going to work. I mean, I could rig something up with a piece of plywood on the top and set the pail and everything, but that's for another day if it happens at all. So I get to test out my new sugar syrup tank plumbing system, and hopefully it doesn't break. I haven't supported it with that piece of wood on the top yet, so we'll see. And get the serving hoses already out there. My wife has got some jars, and we're going to go over there and start changing them out. We're wearing our jackets, and I'm actually wearing long pants. It's not cold to wear long pants, but these bees, they get a little stingy right here this time of year and when you're messing with the jars and whatnot. So I'm just protecting myself that way. So, okay, I'll take you over there. I'm going to start the pump, and then we'll feed some bees. One thing you have to be careful of when sucking syrup out of a tank like this is to vent it. And I do leave the lid barely threaded on so that it stays on there so it can suck air through there, because you'll collapse that tank if you don't. And I believe it still vents through this filler hose system here too. Let's see. All right, that's all good. I'm going to crack this just a little for bypass. We're filling jars, so I don't need it to go real fast. And we'll get it going. That's my filter wrench for, well, it's a jar wrench really, for taking the lids off that are stuck. How are the bees?
I smoked them. No one's suggesting yet.
The lids are definitely the worst part of this jar idea. The new lids are nice, so maybe I just need to spring for some new lids. Need a box for the lids. You can just toss in. You could always toss the lids in the water and then kind of cleans them up.
Oh, yeah.
And keeps them in one place. Yeah, I'll put them on. Yeah, new lids really are where it's at. Yeah. See, and the water will fix that kind of thing too. Get the sugar caked onto the lid, because it can really block the lid, the holes, and then they can't take the syrup. It was a little thick last time. Thick this time because it's the same mixture. Syrup on my hands, I can't grip the jars. jackets I don't worry about, but I feel obligated to rescue the honeybees.
Yeah.
These leaves are stuck and there's syrup in the jar. $300 liters left. There's still some feed to put on those nukes. This is jar 3, I think, and they should take 6. We'll see. Pleased to see this held up well. I haven't supported it yet. I really need to get to that. No leaks though. I mean, obviously no leaks. Somebody commented, oh, put Teflon tape on the threads because then it won't leak. Well, I have put Teflon tape on all the threads, and that's right from the beginning, even before I changed this. Every threaded joint, as you can see, has Teflon tape on it. This one didn't have very much. And I've since switched to a higher grade of Teflon tape. It's kind of pink. The white stuff is about the cheapest thing you can buy. And the pink stuff is just, I think it's thicker, it's just better tape. So anyway, and you can see that all the syrup I spilled doing this is all cleaned up. All cleaned up. Everything is nice and dry. So it's time to just pack up and go home. Go home. We're in the backyard. We'll do some extracting now. And my dear wife is picking some things up for me, which is really nice because I need to come out here and spend time. Normally it's not until I'm done extracting, and then I'll come out here. And this is the perfect day for it because there's hardly any flight. I didn't really have to wear my jacket. It's just that the other day I was feeding, they're getting a bit jumpy, but it was warmer and there was more flight. As you can see, I didn't even put my veil up. So normally I just wear a veil and no jacket, but today I'm wearing a jacket, no veil. Go figure. Anyway, there's always that bee that's after you. So yeah, I'm glad that's done. And we'll come back in a couple more days and fill those jars. Jars sure take a lot of maintenance. I really wish I could use these big pails for everything, but like I said, the nukes won't fit. So, and if I had a pail that was 11 inches, no more than 11 inches across, and held even 2 gallons, 3 gallons would be great because that's about half the feed that they would take. Actually, 3 gallons would be about the amount of the feed they would take, I guess. Yeah, that's right. So it was a 3-gallon pail, and it had a footprint of no more than 11 inches. That would fit on those 6-frame nukes. So I guess I'm going to be looking for something. Because as much as I like the jars, I really like the jars, because I can see when they need to be fed. Actually, one day I flew my drone out here from the house and checked out my jars to see if they needed to be fed, just for fun. And pails in the warm weather, pails are spongy. They'll stretch and contract and all kinds of stuff. The glass jars, they don't. Now the glass jar is transparent, of course, so it lets full sunlight through, and I don't know what that does. Does that raise the pressure in the jar? I know it reduces viscosity when that syrup gets warm, but it doesn't seem to cause a ton of leaking. It's surprising how many holes you put in that lid. I'll put 12 to 15 holes at 1/16th size in those jar lids, and that's not too many. You can put way more than that if you want. They need a lot of holes in the lid in order to take the feed in a timely manner. So I'm rambling now. Thanks for watching this, and have a great weekend. Take care and have fun. It's Friday, September 29, 2023. Yeah, a whole week has gone by since I've picked up this camera. It's been another busy week. So I think I was feeding bees last I talked to you. And I fed bees again a little bit, just filled a few jars that were getting down. I think that was yesterday morning. And so the rest of the week, really what I've done is extracting. And the good news is I'm done. I'm done extracting. I finished yesterday, and the tally for this year is just around 11,000 pounds. So by the grace of God, a really good crop came in, and I'll have plenty of honey to go around for my obligations and my customers this season, and most of next season too. So I've got the big guy and the black trailer hooked up here. I'm going on a bit of a road trip this morning. I was just airing up tires. I always want to check tires and make sure everything is right up. I find the large tires seem to leak a lot, but regardless. And you don't always want to run the same pressure. I don't always want to run the same pressure for varying load conditions. The truck specifies 60 in the front, 75 in the rear. Trailer, I generally run 80 in the fore. But anyway, enough about air pressures. So I found a stainless tank on Marketplace, and it's out west of here, west southwest, and it's about a 2-hour drive from here. So I need to get going and get out there. Supposed to be there at 1 o'clock, so hopefully we'll be able to meet the person and load up. I don't know how we're going to load it. My feeling is the person there doesn't have any way to assist to load it, so it's just going to be me and my ingenuity. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when I get there. Well, I'm not sure what I can even take to make that job easier, but I'll figure it out when I get there. So that's about it for now. Road trip day. Always nice to get back in a big guy. This is my favorite truck. I just love this thing. 3 years, it's going to be 20 years old though. So we're all getting older. No doubt about that. Okay, fast forward a few hours. It's now almost 5:30 and I just arrived home. So you can see a shiny stainless tank, and I'm looking at the sun in the trailer. So you can see a couple openings in the top. There's lids in the truck for that. And so there's a valve at the front of it there. And it's a double wall system, but it's not a jacketed system per se. I picked up some lumber on the way home too, since I had the trailer. So this is a milk tank, and I think what happens is it had a compressor, well, has or had, I don't know what all that stuff is. And these lines here, it is jacketed, but it's not just a water jacket. There's cooling lines that run through the jacket. And I think I'm going to be able to just hook that up and run hot water through it, just to keep the honey, at a reasonable temperature, so it'll flow out okay, and we don't have granulation. So there's a lot of hoses and things that I won't need. There's some fittings in the top that I won't need. I'm gonna have to close up. Maybe get one of my welder friends help me with that. It is supposed to be 300 US gallons. So a little dent in it on the way in. I had to load it myself, and I kind of didn't do it quite right, because it's not light. I don't know if my little tractor can lift it or not. I'll have to figure that out tomorrow, get it off this trailer. And so, yeah. So what's the idea here? What's the idea? Well, one of my big bottlenecks, or my big bottleneck in my honey house, is straining and paling the honey. And that's because I'm using my melting, my wax melter as a kind of a big bottling tank. So I warm the honey in there enough that it'll strain nicely coming out. That takes some time. And it holds about, I'm thinking 700 pounds of honey, max. So once I fill that melter, I'm plugged up in the honey house. There's no extracting happening until that gets paled off. And so what I'm thinking about this thing, I likely won't fill it. I think that's about 3,000 pounds, isn't it? 300 gallons. Anyway, I won't likely fill it. I'm thinking of maybe put 1,500 pounds at best in it. And then, so that'll fill out of the extractor, out of the sump, and then it'll either gravity feed from this fitting, or it'll pump into the melting, the wax melter. From there, just as a buffer, just as a holding tank, just something I can extract into, and I don't have to stop extracting once the melter is full. So that's the idea here. I got an excellent price, I believe, and she said it didn't leak, and I'm counting on that. It looks pretty good inside. So that's the deal. So another uneventful week on the vlog. It was just extracting. That was it. Anyway, I'll put this together for you and hopefully enjoy it tomorrow morning. Probably gonna maybe feed some bees tomorrow. One thing I need to do, I need to get this off of here tomorrow, and I'm gonna put my syrup tank on here. I don't know if I'll be mixing more syrup or not. I do have more sugar. I have to check the colonies. So maybe tomorrow, if it's nice, I'll take you along and we'll go through a couple of colonies to see how they're doing on their winter stores so far. See if I need to feed them more. If I do, I can mix up more syrup. But if I mix up more syrup, the tank is going to be on this trailer. Because I have another errand next week, the big trailer is going to Winnipeg, and I'm getting, I've already bought 2 lifts of 3/4 inch plywood for my winter beekeeping equipment builds. And yeah, so there's 2 lifts, so this would carry it weight wise, but it's not long enough. I can't put 2 8-foot lengths end to end. It's only 14 feet in here, and it wouldn't quite go across. This is an 8-foot trailer, but the sides are part of that 8 feet, so it wouldn't quite fit even across. So I'll take the 20-foot, and it's just a flat deck, so we'll just put the 2 lifts end to end on there and bring it home. Now the problem with that is, there it sits. That 20-foot trailer is tied up now because I can't lift that off of there. My little tractor will reliably lift about, I don't know what we were lifting, six sheets, or maybe 6 or 7 or 8 sheets at a time. And that's a lot of hand bomb and plywood too. There's 46 in these lifts. So that's a lot of hand bomb and plywood. You get it off of there. So it might just get tarped and parked in the corner until I need it in the winter. The problem is I got to move bees, so it might be moving bees with this one. Who knows? Anyway, so those are the logistical challenges. But tomorrow's another day, and boy, today was a nice day. Uneventful trip in the truck, except for some crazy drivers, and it went really well. But I'm quite exhausted. I want to go in and see my wife and have a good Friday night. So I wish you a good Friday night as well, and a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Take care and have fun.